But while I'm at it, I thought I'd just do another quick module introduction. And this one is on party resources. I just did the one on the role tables from journal and sidebar. Really useful, check it out. But this one here, party resources, has got a very specific sort of niche, and for that it's very useful. So it says here, for example, it's done by Pretzel, and basically you've got a couple of screenshots. You can define your own resources and you can track them together. You can basically go in and say, this is the sort of thing my players are accumulating. It might be darkness points, it might be something else, it might be a threat, it might be something like progress or money, whatever it might be. It might be Bennies. And you can see that you have different icons you can select. So I'm going to show you how I use this again for my solo game of Dragonbane here. One of the things you have to track, and I might just have to adjust my screen slightly here. One of the things you have to track in Dragonbane is the threat level. So can you see that right at the bottom there of my screen? I've got this threat level. Basically the threat level, and you can then pop out this little counter and put it somewhere where everybody can see it. As you go through the solo mode, if you wait, if you have a complication, if you run away and you have to run and hide for a while, every time you do that, the threat goes up. And when the threat reaches 6, it comes to pass, something happens. So, for example, in the first scenario, it might be or might not be, don't want to spoil anything, a group of monsters roaming the breach, and then they're going to jump you. It might be something else. It might be a lava stream that bursts out and it's going to consume you. So, this party resources, basically you've got the bar at the bottom and you've got this one here. You can select your own token on it and you can just increase it, and you can attach a message in the chat for it increasing or decreasing. You can hide it, reveal the resources to player, or you can hide it from the players, and you can edit. And here, this is how you set it up. Let me actually show you the place where you set it up. It is under, where is it? Good question. I thought it was under items. Yeah, under actors. Party resources, you hit that button here and nothing happens. Oh, okay. Party resources, it pops up this little chart here and you can add a new resource. So you can give it a name. Let's say I want to just call it a countdown time. Yeah, if you play 5e D&D, don't know why anybody would, but if you wanted to, you can select a particular resource for it. You can upload an image, or you can use one of the predetermined icons. You can have a default value on it and say, okay, 6 rounds for something. The minimum is 1, the maximum is 6. Could be much, much higher, of course. You can then choose whether to notify the players or not. You can select a message you put in, and you can even allow the players to manage this resource. For example, in Conan, you've got something called momentum or threat, doom in the 2D20 games. And if you don't have a fully featured system with those resources in, you can use this system here. So you then create the resource. So I could say increase message. You gain some time, and value decrease. Time is fleeting. Something like that. So let's call it here. We've got, make it a bit bigger. Create resource. Now I have 2 resources here. I didn't choose an icon for this one, so that's fine. And let's go back to the chat. My default value was 6. Oh, it doesn't quite work. Does it? Maximum value 10. So that looks a bit better. I can have this squirreled away, or I can actually get rid of it because it's also here right at the bottom. And whenever you want to get back to it, you click on it at the bottom here, this bar beneath your toolbar, and it pops it back up. So if I put a plus or minus on it first, I get the message for the players. Time is a fleeting 9, -1, -2, and so on. Yeah, and I can shift, was it shift click, plus 100, or you can control click plus a 10. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but here's refilled. Yeah, so on that, again, it's this little module. It doesn't do a lot, but what it does really well. I enjoy that. I used progress clocks for this before. So for example, to In Forbidden Lands, there's lots of different factions, so whether my players annoyed them or whether my players sort of policed the factions. I used progress clocks previously, but since version 9 that is not supported anymore. So I'm using this one instead now. Really useful, and if something like 10 happens and the Rust Brothers reach annoyance level 10, then send out a patrol to hunt down the players. Anyway, I hope this is a useful little resource for you. I found it very useful, as I said, for my solo game. They're very quick to make up on the fly, so if you want to do a new rules mechanism that you haven't done before, or you just need some quick way of tracking something, this is a really nice way of doing it. Right. As I said, I'm trying to keep these videos short. Thanks for watching, and if it's helpful, leave me a little thumb or a comment, even better. Leave me a subscription if you want more of this sort of stuff, because it's always encouraging for us to see that people are appreciating and needing this stuff. Okay, any other questions? Leave me a comment. See you then.